What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon Kindle and Create Space. A link will be in the description box below as usual. This video is entitled What Happened to Sincerity? I was watching a video about Mike Tyson talking about his life. And I was going to talk about this topic anyways, but it made me hurry up and do it right now. You know, we live in a funny world. Can be beautiful, and it could be cold. We live in a world that people have a light in them, a good in them, and an evil in them, and we don't want to say, over the past, I don't know for how long, sincerity has been a dying issue. Humility has been a dying trait, a characteristic. And, we've been praising as much dysfunction as anybody. And I'm not talking about like, it's a black thing. No, it's an American thing. Because we think it's okay to be a liar. And that's fine. That's being smart. To me, that's cowardly, but that's what it is. We think it's okay to be a cheater as long as you feel like you're getting over and you got something out of the deal and you screwed over another person, which inevitably may have screwed over multiple people, but you don't care because there's no sincerity. Society has this thing where people have these insincere apologies because they mean to do you wrong, and they're not sorry about doing you wrong, because ultimately when you're gone, they're going to do somebody else the same way. People are scared to be vulnerable and open and to be a human being, because what winds up happening is you're living in an era where at some point in time people are preying on your vulnerability and your humanity as a way to get ahead for money. I was in the store and I was ordering some food in store, but restaurant. I was ordering some food and I pulled out some money and I just happened to look at it because I normally don't just look at money. And I was thinking to myself, like, the things people would do for a bunch of paper. How insincere people would be for a bunch of paper. It's always been mind-boggling. People enjoy breaking people. I think that's funny. They think that's something to brag about. But those very people don't enjoy being broken. And it's weird because, as I was saying a little bit earlier, we're in a country where we're not afraid to kill you, but we're afraid of love. So what does that say about, our humanity and our sanity and our sincerity? What are we doing? I don't want to hear about us being godly, because we're not. We see people in bad situations and bad circumstances every day. and we walk by them like they don't exist. Like who cares? You know, some of y'all don't know what it feels like to, you know, I know the hypocrisy of this. I know what it feels like to look at somebody who's homeless like you can do better, and to be homeless and be looked at like you can do better. You know, and in feelings, you want to be, you want to be in a position that you can look down on the other person, but you know, you have to be a better person than that. You got to be bigger than that. And I realize that we're not. You know, we have people who will prey on your humanity as far as helping them because they know they're not trying to get help also, and that's insincere. You know, just be honest with me, right? You know, we live in a society where you can see the truth on camera and people want to tell you a lie because they don't want to deal with the reality of what they saw with their own eyes on film. Because, God forbid, it shows you in your true negative state, you know. Everybody else has to be stupid, right? You know, everybody else doesn't know what they're talking about or isn't real. And, you know, that's a shame. That's a shame. You have a characteristic of using God as an excuse. God isn't here. We're here to take care of each other, you know. And because we're you know, part of our mental issues as a society have to deal with the fact that we're mentally losing it because we're losing our humanity. We don't know how to look a person in the eyes and be honest. We don't know how to have a conversation. We don't know how to enjoy life with another person. We don't know how to smile. You know, we don't know how to make someone's day. You know, we don't know how to sacrifice for another person. We don't know how to forgive. You know, we don't know how to work through each other's issues. And I say that because there comes a point where, you know, it's the complete opposite. People like creating drama with people. People like fighting with people. People like trying to destroy people. And people take pleasure out of that. And, you know, people like to brag about how bad they did someone. And, you know, that's like a norm, but in some ways it's masochistic. You know, is that I hope I'm saying it right. But we don't talk about how we are to each other. We can be neighbors and never speak and not know each other and not care to know each other and want and not check on each other. We're very easy to hate each other. You know, we don't care about each other's kids. We don't see the next person as part of the human family. We don't see people's experience as part of the human experiences. You know, we have a culture of takers, and it's weird because everybody is looking for a savior to be a martyr for them, but nobody wants to put themselves on the line for anybody else. And it's hard for us to be honest. Like, we have a tough time as a society being honest with ourselves, so imagine what that is dealing with other people, right? You know, and then the audacity to be above karma. And sometimes we don't, we're afraid of being who we are. We're afraid of being ourselves. We're afraid of being true to self, you know. And I think it's detrimental, like very detrimental. Um, and you can't change the world. I mean, I can't change the world, but you try to change your immediate circle, and it's weird because I don't think a lot of people have dealt with the harsh realities of life. So they're out of touch with how good they have it and how bad it can be. And you can't really enjoy life if you can't really understand how good you really have it. So yeah, man, we out.